Welcome back to another episode of How Am I This Young Yet More Mature Than Most Adults? Apology Edition. When it comes to relationships, either you've made a mistake or your partner's done a mistake, there's one thing that you guys need to clarify right off the bat, and that is do not talk to me as though you are trying to save the relationship. Talk to me with the expectation of knowing that I'm staying. Let's destroy some people's perspectives on relationships. So many people have had relationships where if they make a mistake, it's like walking on eggshells, to where on the table, that threatening of the relationship was always on it. If you take that off of it, being like, I want to work this out. If you take that off of the table, there is so much more room for accountability and acceptance. An analogy that I always love to use is the spilt milk analogy, to where if you knocked over a glass of milk and your partner walks in, how are you reacting? Are you frantically trying to clean it up, being like, I'm so sorry, it won't happen again, to where you're actually creating a bigger mess now because you're trying to clean it up so quickly that you've lost meaning to why you are apologizing in the first place. If you sit there being like, hey, I didn't look where I was going, I'm so sorry, but I can clean it up, to where you are actually taking the time to soak up that milk in the paper towels and throwing it away. Not only that, but you're leaving room for for your partner to be like, hey, can I help clean that up? And then it has a little connection, it has a little moment, to where at the end of the day, the counter is just a counter, the milk is just a milk, and a mistake is just a mistake, as long as you're careful for next time. It's also a great analogy to use if people are in a toxic relationship yet don't know it. Be like, if you knocked a glass of milk over and your partner accidentally walks in, what's happening? How are they gonna react? Oh, they'll probably yell. Why wouldn't they help you clean up? However, if you cheated on your partner, it's kind of like if you spilt thumbtacks and then you took their head and kind of just, I don't think I should be doing this motion off camera, I'm sorry. I wouldn't say the spilt milk analogy works for every situation, however, the minuscule ones. One last incy, fancy, teeny, weeny, tinier than your ex's peeny thing. When it comes to joking around with your partner, never use the excuse, it was just a joke, I found it funny. You need to realize not a lot of people grew up in a household where getting the last word was a victory, or growing up with a sister because you had to be a verbal assassin. Not everybody grew up in a household where bullying was a love language, to where they would be like, hey, I see you, and I acknowledge you for your flaws. But why the hell did you turn into oncoming traffic? How did you get the privilege of getting your license at 16? When they were 42, they asked me how to properly turn on the emergency brake. It's so confusing, okay? I'll give them a break on that. What I'm trying to say is that saying, oh, what I said I considered a joke. However, you're offended by it. So in turn, you're basically saying their feelings, you think, are a joke. People don't need microchips in their brains, they need lawyers in there, because there's some friends of mine that I feel like deserve jail just for breathing air. However, if they're able to joke about it, I'm able to joke about it, because they've already spilt the milk themselves on purpose. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be rubbing that milk around, and I'm going to get that table as messy as possible, because at the end of the day, they know that I'm going to help them clean that up. The perfect template for any apology is, I'm sorry for doing blank. My reasoning behind it was blank, but now I realize that blank, so in the future I'm going to blank. Now the floor is yours to tell me how you feel about it and if there's anything that I can do to really help you. Where again, even if you yourself spilt the milk, you are still helping clean up the milk. You are not pointing the blank, you are saying, I spilt it, however, I didn't realize that you wanted to drink that. So for next time, I'm going to ask if you wanted to drink that before I decide to spill it. However, I'm going to clean it up regardless with you. It's taking accountability, responsibility, as well as also acknowledging that their feelings matter and are heard. I am 22 years old, yet there's still 54-year-olds that point the finger at their 16-year-old son or daughter, exclaiming that it's your fault for doing something that I put on you. So even though I'm 22 and there's probably people who are younger than me who already knew this, being the adult in any situation does not mean that you're the eldest in the situation. It just means you didn't handle it childishly. Let's actually take accountability. How can't you take accountability yet you can take back exes who cheated on you?
No, Willie, tell me. Tell me, Willie.